Hello, everyone. It's Tracy Malone from NarcissistAbuseSupport.com. I hope that you are having a good day in Narc land. Today, I want to address something that happens all the time to my clients, happens to me, happen to anyone who's ever been abused by a narcissist. They call you crazy. It's obviously projection, but there's much more to it. And I really wanted to kind of help people understand the reasoning behind it. Because it's not just that they want to just, well, you call me a narcissist, I'm going to call you a narcissist. No, there's much more calculation in here. And what we need to understand too is that there's a 90% chance that the narcissist has been doing this all along. You're just finding out about it now. The truth is they smear you for years and years before the relationship implodes. So there's a good chance that they've been dropping the crazy bomb for a while. I have had clients institutionalized, put in mental hospitals, locked up and thrown away the key because of this particular factor and the way that that particular narcissist or those particular narcissists decided to be evil and take it to the next limit. And again, having psych evals is pretty common in a narcissistic divorce because you're going to want them, checked and they're going to want you checked. And it means absolutely nothing if you're looking at it from a divorce perspective, but it still happens. So therefore, this is a common tactic. But when you are labeled as the crazy one, right? It makes you, and it doesn't have to be crazy. It could be unstable. It could be all other words that mean crazy, right? It's obviously a manipulation tactic, and it's trying to get you to be confused. It's trying to get you to defend yourself, right? The first common tactic that they're going to use is obviously gaslighting, right? This is where they're going to like make you think, oh no, what I just did was crazy. And they push it into you so hard that you begin to wonder if you are, right? I already said this is projection 101. It's also DARVO, deny, reverse victim and offender, right? So that's all part of this. They're trying to point the finger at you going, it's her, it's him, it's not me, right? The other things that make us crazy, we have to think about that. When someone is projecting and doing that, shifting blame, you get crazy. You're like, what? Like, this doesn't make sense, right? Then when you have intermittent reinforcement, right? This is kindness to cruelty, meaning they love you, they hate you, they love you, they hate you, and it creates an emotional whiplash. How could you not be confused from this? How could you not think that I don't understand? Like yesterday they loved me and I was the best thing in the world, and today, they're being cruel and doing all these horrible things. Like the things that the narcissists do make us feel crazy. And there's a lot more to it. But, when they do the silent treatment, for example, right? If you're in silent treatment, your mind fills up the gaps and builds a story. And, it doesn't make sense. So you're sitting here trying to figure all this out, right? So one of the reasons, and again, lawyers often think that victims of narcissistic abuse are the crazy ones, judges too, because of this emotional reactivity, right? After years of manipulation and abuse and invalidation, right? You have heightened emotional responses, right? You are just like unable to control your emotions. And so therefore, you look crazy. I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's just a fact, right? When you have been groomed to not be able to control your emotions, when something like a divorce happens, which is usually when this, you're crazy, you're the one that's all of these things, right? Happen is just because they want to win. They want to win. And by projecting it that it was you, then it's you, not them, right? But think of the things that go on in a relationship. You have self-doubt, right? They erode your confidence and sense of self, and you get anxiety and indecision and eventually seemingly erratic behavior. It's not. You're in reaction to abuse, but to other people, they don't see it, right? When you are in a narcissistic relationship, you have health impacts, and many people don't understand this can give you cancer. This can give you almost any kind of illness, from back pain to sleeping, not, issues and all kinds of other physical things, right? But when you are in this constant stress, your cortisol levels spike, right? You can't sleep, you can't eat, you have hypervigilance, you have rumination. It's just this place you can't get out of. Makes you crazy. You don't understand it. Like, your health is being affected. You're not sleeping. You're gonna be more reactive, which could make you look crazy, right? Again, I'm not calling you crazy. I'm just saying how the world perceives this, right? The other thing that narcissists do in their relationships are, sort of the isolation, right? When you are isolated from your friends and family and your essential, support systems, they don't have good coping mechanisms. And so again, that leads to more reactivity. If you have a solid support system that says, that is abuse, Tracy, and they're there and they believe you, then you have a better chance of being able to fight harder. But if you're in isolation and you're just being brainwashed by the narcissist, that you're the bad one and everything you do and it's all your fault, eventually victims begin to not necessarily believe it, but just acquiesce to it and go, I can't fight it. Okay, whatever, it's my fault. And that makes you feel like you've given up your soul, right? So the isolation plays a big part in how strong you are, which is why they do it, right? Um, when we are being not believed, think about that, right? When you tell all your friends and neighbors, oh my God, you're not going to believe what they did, right? All of a sudden, the narcissist has gotten to them before and they've told them stories about you. So now you look like the unstable one. You look like the crazy one, right? And so they've been planting this seed, but when nobody believes you and goes, oh, your husband was so nice. I don't believe any of these stories. Maybe you're just getting overreactive and, you got to calm down. When people don't believe you, when you are talking about what happened, it makes you crazy. It makes you want to stand up on the top of a building with a bullhorn and scream and just let the world know because nobody's hearing you, right? So that leads to you, again, I'm not calling you crazy, but unstable behavior that people could witness and go, look at her, look at him, my gosh, right? The narcissist has so many roles in this narrative, right? They are projecting their own flaws onto the victim and creating this false image of themselves as the victim and the target of you, right? So it's crazy, but that's what they do, right? They also use flying monkeys. Y'all probably heard about them. These are the neighbors and the friends that we were just talking about that, the narcissist got to before you and tells them you're crazy or you're an alcoholic or you're a drug addict or whatever it is. These are the preemptive smear campaigns long before you even speak out that you don't even know live in your neighbor's house next door where they think you're an alcoholic. But this is the way that they have set up this foundation to smear you so that when something comes out about the truth and you start talking about it, nobody believes you. Goes back to nobody believes me, and then you get frustrated, right? So you have to understand that this is intentional and this is designed to make you feel crazy, not only look crazy, but feel crazy because well, I'm not the crazy one. I'm not this, right? But I'm not the narcissist. All of these things that narcissists falsely accuse other people of are what you have to realize are simply projections. And your mission is then to prove not that you are not crazy, that's their burden, right? But it's to prove with evidence exactly what they're doing because they leave a paper trail. They are just not that smart. So if you can, defend yourself with the crazy clause, but also know that in a divorce, unless it's co-parenting issues, which if they're proving and trying to prove you're crazy to get no parenting time, that's when you have to fight it, right? If it's just a normal divorce and you do not have children, you know what? Talk to the hand. You can keep calling me crazy, but I'm going to keep fighting my battle. They do it to knock you off balance. So, this is Tracy Malone from Narcissist Abuse Support. Thank you for listening, whether it's here on YouTube or on my podcast. You can find that podcast anywhere. I also want to just remind people that I am a coach and I help people all over the world. So if you are interested in working with me, you can visit my website, narcissistabusesupport.com, and I'll be happy to help you through your narcissistic situation. So that's all we got today, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for listening. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. See you soon.